Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Wa Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect throughout the four corners of this whole entire earth, no matter where, whom they may be, or what they may look like. Pushing out this purified truth to the rest of the church who believe as well, including you women, to the dead in Yahweh Shai also, and the water to Yahweh Shai, because without him enduring and going to that cross for the nation of Israel, none of this would even be possible. Okay? Let's go to the book, Genesis chapter 2, verse 18. And the Lord Power said, "It is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him an help meet for him." So the woman was created for the man. The woman was created to be a help for the man, not to be a hinder. In today's world, a lot of these women are just a hindrance unto you. They're a trap. But in reality, the woman was set up to be a help unto her husband. Okay? But what happened? Eve listened to the serpent. The serpent hit her with that trickery, man, and she was deceived, and she believed it. Basically, the serpent was speaking feminism to Eve before it was called feminism. And feminism is just another way of saying women can get away with their BS. They're not held accountable. Okay? Women weren't created to run amok and to be whores and sluts. They were created to be a help unto their husband. Okay? That's just the truth of the matter. And the Lord Power said, "It is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him an help meet for him." And it's so sad because in today's world, men will damn near rather be alone than to deal with the majority of these women. Okay? Let's go to the book of Sirach, also known as Ecclesiasticus, chapter 36 and verse 24. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. So when a man gets a wife, he gets a possession. So we're going back into our old ways. The kingdom of heaven is being set up. And you better believe there's going to be a lot of celebration going on in the kingdom, because there is going to be a lot of marriages going on in the kingdom. Okay? And marriage meaning joined together. How do you become joined together? Through the act of sex. Okay? Through the act of sex. When a man gets with a woman who is a virgin, he pops her hymen, which symbolizes the blood covenant between that man and that woman. So when a man gets a wife, he gets a help unto himself, and he gets a possession. Okay? So let's play this video, and I'll bring out some more scriptures.
The traditional wedding ceremony, the big wedding, takes place to the rhythm of the mbiwi. These are pieces of bamboo. The pipers are waved to cool down the husband-to-be and his witnesses. All three of them carry an unlit cigarette. It's a way of stating their independence. The jewels given to the bride are carried by the procession. Meanwhile, the bride, who hasn't left her house for a week, is being prepared.
So the bride is being prepared. Okay? And that's how, matter of fact, let me just go to the scriptures. Okay? Let the scriptures speak here. This is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 3 and verse 5. "For after this manner, in the old time, the holy women also, who trusted in the power, adorned themselves, being in subjection unto their own husbands." So what you're seeing here is a woman adorning herself for her husband. So let's go into that word adorn. To put in order, arrange, make ready, prepare. To ornament, adore. metaphorically to embellish with honor, gain honor. Okay? So our women are to be put in order. Our women are to adorn themselves for us. Okay? Your woman shouldn't be letting herself go. She should be making herself ready for you. And going back, in the ancient world, when a man and a woman would get married, it would be set up to where the woman, she would adorn herself. She would be made ready. Okay?
What I'm doing here is the bride's makeup. I'm using a beauty mask.
The beauty mask used to be reserved only for married women, but the tradition has become more general.
There you go.
Meanwhile, the procession is approaching the bride's house. Through the whole of the previous week, she has received visitor after visitor. The meeting between the two young people follows a very precise ritual.
We're going to let the husband through so that he can discover his wife. You have to remember that here, before he can discover the woman, the bride, he has to pay.
Before he could discover his wife, he has to pay. Okay? That goes back to our customs, man. Okay? And why does he have to pay? Well, let's get the scriptures again. All right? What happened to my scriptures? Did they close out? Oh, here they are. Okay. So again, this is the book of Sirach 36 and verse 24. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. So the woman was created to be a help unto the man, and also she is his possession. That's why he is about to pay a dowry, because he is about to receive his possession being what? His wife. Okay? And in the ancient world, you would pay the father. Okay? I can't remember how many shekels. It might have been 50 shekels. Okay? But you would pay the dowry to the father, because the daughter belonging to the father, once he marries her off, she no longer belongs to him, but she belongs to the husband. Okay? He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. Now these women today, they're a pillar of death. They're a pillar of stress. Okay? They're a pillar of tests. They'll test you, man. Okay? Where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled. And the woman being our possession, our women are spoiled right now. Okay, our women are totally destroyed. And he that hath no wife will wander up and down mourning. Why? Because it's not good for man to be alone. Okay? That's why Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua created the woman for the man. Let's go to the book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 16. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed, in other words, a woman being betrothed is a woman who would be promised to someone already, engaged, as we call it today. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. Okay, and that's that payment he's doing. If her father utterly refuse to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins. So honestly, a man could pay the father to marry his daughter And then the father could say, you know what, I want my daughter back. But the problem with that would be no man would really want to deal with his daughter after that, because see, back in the ancient world, men wanted virgins to be their wives. So to have your daughter get popped by a man and then to say, oh, I changed my mind, you're not the right guy, now your daughter's going to be looked at as a whore because her hymen has been popped. Okay, that blood covenant was made with somebody else. Okay, so what you're seeing this man do is paying that dowry. So that goes back to the scriptures, because what he's about to do is pay for his possession. And once he pays for that possession, she belongs to him. Once he has, sex with her and he goes in unto her, she no longer belongs to her father. This is Tobit chapter 10 and verse 10. Then Raguel arose and gave him Sarah his wife, and half his goods, servants and cattle and money. And he blessed them and sent them away, saying, the power of heaven give you a prosperous journey, my children. And he said to his daughter, honor thy father and thy mother-in-law, which are now thy parents, that I may hear good report of thee. And he kissed her. Edna also said to Tobias, the Lord of heaven restore thee, my dear brother, and grant that I may see thy children of my daughter Sarah before I die, that I may rejoice before the Lord. Behold, I commit my daughter unto thee of special trust. Wear or do not entreat her evil. Okay, so once a woman gets married, she no longer belongs to her father. The father commits the daughter unto her husband. Okay, the husband will pay that dowry because he's paying for his possession. Now she officially belongs to him, and it's made official through that covenant, more so through the blood covenant of sex. Because again, a woman being a virgin, after she would have sex, she would bleed out. Okay, and that would show that covenant between that man and that woman was made. Let's go forth.
The wedding involves considerable expense, and many Mohoran women have to help each other out to cope with the cost. The young man goes to the nuptial bed. Before, marriages were arranged between...
So in the ancient world, what they would do, they would lay a cloth out on the bed, just like how this scene looks. They'd lay a cloth out on the bed. That way, when the man goes into his wife and he pops her hymen, the hymen would bleed out on the cloth, symbolizing their covenant and showing that she was an actual virgin. Okay? But what they're doing, it's similar to what we did in the past. Marriages were celebrations. And, the bed chamber would be prepared for the husband and his wife to have sex, which is what constitutes the marriage.
The two families. Today, feelings are more important than financial considerations.
You hear that? It said feelings are more important than financial involvement. I didn't say the word exactly, but basically, our women today, they're looking at you for what you have. Let me rewind that.
Before, marriages were arranged between the two families. Today, feelings are more important than financial considerations.
Feelings are more important than financial considerations, which really, that's what real love is. But in the kingdom, we're going to have power. So our women are going to be willing in the day of thy power. They're going to be willing to share it. They're willingly going to share us in the kingdom. They're going to be smiling, just like you see her doing right now. These women on the sideline, how everybody's just smiling. Look, man, in the kingdom, it's going to be a celebration, man. It's not like we're just going to be popping women and throwing them to the side. I'm done with you. No, we're going to treat our women good, man. Okay, hell, we treat our women good now on this side. But a lot of you women, you wouldn't know that because you don't want to share. You don't want to share. You want to be selfish. So you missing out. That's on you, though. All right, let's go.
Then it's time for celebration to the rhythm of the drums and dancing.
And I believe by this point, they may have already have had sex. So after they have had sex, now it's time for the celebration. Because why? The marriage has been constituted. Now the covenant has been set between that man and that woman. Okay? It didn't say that. That's my assumption.
While polygamy, now forbidden, is still accepted by the older generations, the young seem to have turned the page.
Now, going into the multiple wives thing. The older generation, they were okay with it. The newer generation, they have a problem with it. Just like today, the new generation following after Esau, following after this Western culture, has totally destroyed our people. Because women see it as basically holding women back because we have to share our husband with other women instead of having it to ourselves. Me, 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 me. Well, it's not about you, 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 you. Okay?
We, the younger generation, we've said stop to polygamy because we're fed up with it. But there are still people who do it.
You're fed up with it. Give me a second. All right, so here's another video. This woman here is willing to share her husband. All right. Going into our customs, this is how it should be now, but it's gonna go like this in the kingdom. All right. You'll have to read it because she's not speaking in our bastard language here in America, Babylon. We are all part of one household. Why don't you want your husband to have a co-wife? That's a question to all you women. She just asked it. Why don't you want your man to have another wife? Because you think it's about you. That's why. Okay? And little do you know, you're not the prize. Okay? In fact, most of us men, we don't have no woman that's a virgin that was a virgin when we got with her. So you women right now, you really need to shut your mouth and humble down, because typically you're a harlot. Okay? But the fact that we get with you and we're dealing with you, we're humbling down. But you know what? The Lord is also humbling down, dealing with us men. See how that chain links together? All right? Just like we can't brag and boast to the Heavenly Father because we have this knowledge, you can't brag and boast to us. Okay? You either please us or you just not going to be joint to us when we get delivered up out of here. You're going to be left behind. You're going to be destroyed. All right? Because having multiple wives is a part of our culture. All right?
Technically, a Maasai man can have as many wives as he wants to. Now, the concept of polygamy has always intrigued me because it is so foreign and so different from what I was taught about love and marriage in the Western culture.
There you go,
know,
the
that
West.
Notion where two individuals come together as two pieces of a whole to complete each other in perfect romance and harmony. That is just so different from...
You know, let's keep it simple, man. One of the main reasons Esau set that up was for population control, to help them fulfill their New World Order. And see, this is really what Esau wants for you Jake, man. He wants you Israelite men, to either be dead, which means you can't populate, locked up in prison, which means you can't populate, a homosexual, which means you can't populate, or just stuck with one wife, which means if you do populate, it's not going to be nearly on the level as you should be populating, because the scripture says to be fruitful and multiply, and that's not really possible with one wife, man. Come on, think about it. It's common sense. All right?
What happens here? So I've come out here all the way to this Tanzanian village, a Maasai village, to learn a little bit more about what it's like
to have co-wives. So this is Yaya. And, and I met Yaya through Stephanie, her daughter-in-law. And Yaya has agreed to explain to me about Maasai marriage, how it works, and what it's like to have a husband who has other wives.
Arana no penina na ingwabana atwar Maasai di deba ke manya paano tu enako. Arana no ngara isit. Ne tangai ne na bishana ne tangai le. Niki akudo ngana kumo tanga.
Yaya and her family live in the Maasai steppe in Tanzania, far from the country's popular tourist attractions like Kilimanjaro or Zanzibar. They all live together in a boma. In Maasai culture, that's an extended household or a family unit with several houses built around a central cattle pen. This is their home.
Ora ninge e Maasai nenge nge kirichake minyo. Yara ke ninge kibo nulo chake babali no.
Your father decides to give you away to a man, as it should be. But that's why a lot of relationships fail today, because women, they have the liberty to destroy themselves. And you know what they're going to do with that liberty? Destroy themselves. How do I know? Because it's already being done. You learn to love him. Boom. I remember saying this a long time ago, man. I remember saying this back in the day because, you know, you had certain marriages that were set up where a woman would be promised to a man and she might not even really know this man. But what would happen is over time, she would learn to love this man. She might not be wanting to marry him at first. She might be all shy. She might not even be attracted to the guy. But over time, she learns to love him, which shows it's not about you women, man. You got to learn to love your man. Just like you got to learn to follow the old path, okay? Which is found in the scriptures, right? And wouldn't it be nice to have one of your sister wives making food? You might be, you know, cleaning up. The other one might be, you know, whoever is in their right mind would know that having help is always a plus. And a lot of you women are so stressed out because you feel like you got to do everything by yourself. You can't understand why you're so stressed out. Because you want to hinder yourself. You're playing yourself. You don't want to be a woman. And since you don't want to be a woman, you're only hurting yourself. Okay, you gotta turn back to that old path, man. Okay? I know that scripture's in Jeremiah somewhere. I think it's Jeremiah. Let's see. Give me a second here. I'm trying to think of where the scripture is. Jeremiah 6:16. Thus saith the Lord, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths. A man having multiple wives is a part of that old path, okay? Thus saith the Lord, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths. Where is the good way? And walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein. See, you women, you don't want to walk therein, according to what the scriptures say. That's why you can't find rest. That's why you're miserable. That's why you're stressed out. That's why you can't understand why you're so moody, sleeping around with different men. You can't understand why you have all these mood swings, why you're so prideful, why you can't just shut the fuck up. Okay? Because you're not seeking after the old path in the way that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai set it up. You are a creature that was created, and you are going against your being, what you were created to be. Okay? Which really just means you're gonna be terminated, ultimately. Okay? Let's pull out the Apocrypha. Let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 26, and verse 6. But a grief of heart and sorrow is a woman that is jealous over another woman, and a scourge of the tongue which communicateth with all. And that's the issue. You women comparing yourselves to another woman. I can't share him. She has bigger breasts than I do. Her ass is bigger than mine. He might like her cooking better. You know, she might have the wop more than me. You know, all this nonsense, man. You women get to comparing yourself. And you've been raised up in this Western culture to where you just feel like that's just the way it's supposed to be because that's what you're used to. Well, it's time for you to wake the hell up and stop being so comfortable in what you're used to and seek the old path.
Ugali is not like a traditional part of the Maasai diet, is it?
It didn't used to be, but it is now. So now it has become their staple. But in the past, and you hear that also in the books when they explain to you about Maasai culture, and I think many people think that that's still true. They tell you they just eat milk and blood and maybe meat sometimes, but they don't do that anymore. Oh, unakula?
You just went with it. You cried and you still went. But see, that's how things happen. Over time, traditions get watered down. Over time, customs get watered down. Okay?
Maasai, they don't count the cattle because it's considered bad luck to count how many cattle you have.
So anyways, so having multiple wives is a part of our culture. That's a part of our customs. I was waiting for a part where the woman actually had said, I might have missed it already, but she had mentioned that she's not even jealous. It actually works for them. She loves having sister wives, okay? And if you want to watch the video on your own time, you know, the title's right there. But let's go to the book of Exodus. Chapter 21 and verse 10. If he take him another wife, which would mean what? He already has one. Her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall not diminish. So a man is to take care of his wife. You know, make sure she's fed, make sure she's clothed, and make sure you popping her, man. All right? And if he do not these three unto her, then shall she go out free without money. Okay, now women will take that as an excuse to say, see, my man, he's not what's a good excuse? Right now he's unemployed. He's been unemployed for the past 2 months. He's been looking for a job, but he ain't got a job right now. So since he can't take care of me for the moment, it's time for me to divorce. That's not what that means. Okay? If a man gets to a point where he's lacking on his wife, he's basically just letting the woman just die out, basically, because she's kind of dependent on him, which in today's world, that's not the case. We're in a world today where these women are actually breadwinners, man. They're making the money. Okay, but in the ancient world, the man being the head of the house, you know, he would be the provider. So if he's the provider, and if he wasn't bringing in food, you know, making sure she's clothed and having sex with her, then damn, what's the point of being married to her? Okay? But in today's world, it's not that way. In today's world, you women got to have more patience. You can't say, see, he doing bad, blah, blah, blah. He having problems getting up in bed. Look, man, we catching hell and all this, man. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about myself now. All right, I put it down. But I'm saying you got men who may have issues down there, you know, because of all the GMO foods, you know, all the toxins in the air and all these things. So we're not in the same playing field as we were in the past, but nevertheless, we are still to rehearse the righteous acts and attempt to keep the law. Okay? A man can have another wife. Okay? And it tells you the duties of marriages, the duty of a marriage. You know, you make sure you take care of her, you nurture her, and you pop her, man. Okay? If he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. If he do not these three unto her, then shall she go out free without money. Which means, look, you ain't leaving with the house and the car. Here it is in today's world, a woman can commit adultery and leave with half the money still. She can do all this evil, you know, break the guy down and still benefit, because that's what feminism's all about. To destroy and to tax the females also. Okay? Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 17 and verse 15. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy power shall choose. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. And here you people are, you 2/3 voting for a damn president. And it's been proven over and over again, it's all a hoax. They're all selected. They're not elected. They're selected. And on top of that, they're not even of our people. Obama wasn't even of our people. But he shall not multiply horses to himself, nor cause the people to return to Egypt, to the end that he should multiply horses. For as the Lord hath said unto you, ye shall henceforth return no more that way. Neither shall he multiply wives to himself. See, it says there, a king's not supposed to multiply horses, and a king's not supposed to multiply wives. So you telling me today that if a man was to multiply horses, that he's sinning? That's not what this is saying, man. Again, you got to know the context. This is advice, okay, for a king, so the king could rule and not have all of these distractions. But we know that this isn't a law, because if it was a law, many men in the scriptures would have sinned. And the greatest examples being King David and King Solomon. Okay? Both men were kings, and they both multiplied wives, which would be going against this scripture here. Okay? And nobody has license to sin. So you got to read with understanding. Deuteronomy 17 and 17. Neither shall he multiply wives to himself, that his heart turn not away. See, it was advice so that a man wouldn't be distracted. Because being a king, you know, that's a heavy position to be in. You don't want to be getting all drunk and distracted with all these different women. Okay? That's a lot to worry about. Let's go to the book of 1 Samuel. This is the book of 1 Samuel chapter 25 and verse 39. And when David heard that Nabal was dead, he said, Blessed be the Lord that hath pleaded the cause of my reproach from the hand of Nabal, and hath kept his servant from evil. For the Lord hath returned the wickedness of Nabal upon his own head. So David's rejoicing over a man dying. Okay? And David sent and communed with Abigail to take him to wife. So this is David taking in a wife, right? Well, let's go to 43. David also took Ahinoam of Jezreel, and they were also both of them his wives. So David just took another wife. What's that called? That's called multiplying wives. Okay? David multiplied wives because it's not wrong to have multiple wives. Men in the scriptures had multiple wives. Let's go to 2 Chronicles chapter 13 and verse 21. But Abijah waxed mighty and married 14 wives and begat 22 sons and 16 daughters. So he was being fruitful and multiplying. He couldn't have done that with just one wife. This man had 14 wives. Okay? Let's go to another example. This is the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 1 and 1. Now there was a certain man of Ramathaim Zophim of Mount Ephraim, however you pronounce it, tomato, tomato, dado. And his name was Elkanah, the son of Jeroham, the son of Elihu, the son of Tohu, the son of Zuph, an Ephrathite. And he had 2 wives. Okay? So this man of Mount Ephraim, he had 2 wives. But that's not in the scriptures. It's right here. I'm reading it. And he had 2 wives. The name of the one was Hannah, and the name of the other Peninnah. And Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children. And see, the Lord did that often. The Lord may have had it to where a man may have had, let's say he had 2 wives, one wife being favored over the other, but the one that was favored couldn't have children. And the one that was less favored could have children, which just makes the balance. Okay, the Lord, he did that, man. He did that often. But nevertheless, a man can have multiple wives. All right, so, you know, if you brothers or you sisters or whatever want to look more into this video, I share my husband with 2 other wives. That's what that one's called. And the other one, if you want the title of it, you know, just rewind it or whatever. But I just want to, you know, bring that out. In the kingdom, there's going to be a lot of celebration. There's going to be a lot of marriages. There's going to be a lot of sex, a lot of multiplying. It's going to be a beautiful family structure. You know, happiness, joy, no sadness. Our women aren't going to be feeling jealous over another woman. None of that, man. Everything is going to be in perfect harmony as it should. Okay? And you women, sooner or later, you're going to realize, you know, trying to do everything by yourself, that was one of the dumbest things you could have done. You need, and I'm telling you, you need help. Just like the man needs help, you need help. Because here it is, you trying to help the children do homework, and then you got to cook, then you got to clean up, then you got to go to work, and you got to, you know, pleasure your husband and these different things. And you all mad and upset about it because you don't want to share your husband. All praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Wa Rakakodash, Shalom.